Okay.
So freaking inspired.
So inspired. Hi, everyone who's watching the recording, and Jenny, who's here with me. Welcome to our Rebel Republic Vision Board party. Very excited.
Vision. Sparkle, sparkle, dust, dust.
Glitter.
Stars. Glitter. Edit in the special effects later.
Yeah, just like background, just like dizzily, like starred out background. That's the vision. There we go. Yeah, I want to thank you all for your time this evening. For those of you catching the recording and whatnot, thank you for checking in. I want to share with you some of the things that I've used from our team. These are not just me things. These are things like I've used over the years from our team to help get my year kind of off to a kickstart of goal setting and living more intentionally. I posted in the original link some of the, what are those called? Links. In the original post, I posted some links. And they took you to a couple of the Misfit pages where we had done vision board party planning stuff in the past, and just kind of how to do, a few tutorials on how to use different digital stuff. And I think it was in one of them, Nicole Holt showed a little bit more of like her kind of hard copy vision board. If you're into that, which I have both. I need both this year. One year I did just digital, and I was like, that's okay. And I printed out my picture and hung it up. But this year I wanted something a little more tangible, a little something I wanted, and I wanted something too digital. So I needed both. I was like, I don't want just a picture of my vision board. I want a lot. I'm needy this year. What the heck? Whatever. Do what I want.
What I've done in a couple years past is after I make mine, I print it and I put it in a frame. And I put it like right by my bedstand. So it's the first thing that I see when I wake up. And then the last thing before bed. So I just print it on your standard like 9x11 paper from my printer, and then put it in like a $3 frame from Walmart. So some people are going to want it in their office. For me, I just liked having it right by my bed because I looked at it every single day. People do different things, but I agree having the digital so you can see it on your computer when you're there, or save it on your phone or whatever, but then also having it printed wherever you just decide to display it. I think that's a really important thing.
I'm exporting mine right now so that I can share it with you guys, because I didn't do that. I forgot to send it to myself.
Can't wait to see it.
That's a thing I have going on in life, is incompleteness. Whatever. It works. So in addition to the tutorials and things like that, I included a link that a friend of mine had posted up for a Word of the Year workbook, which I absolutely loved. I had a Word of the Year in 2016 that really helped me to focus and just get to what I really wanted to accomplish for the year. And I really liked it, but the way I came to it was a little bit different than the workbook from this link. And I really enjoyed the workbook. I really enjoyed like the read up to it. And the actual work to kind of hone in on something, because, I have a little bit of ADHD, everyone. Properly diagnosed adult now, who knows that she can't quite do just one thing. It makes me physically cringe sometimes, and now I know why, because my brain likes all the things. Picking one word was just kind of one of those things that was really a challenge, because as soon as something would kind of come up and I'm like, oh, this is hard, I'm like, oh, dang it. I need a new word. dang it. I need something else. What's missing? And the word of the year is really supposed to be kind of the thing that it's like how is it described? Your touchstone. That sort of central, integral piece to your life that's like you can just keep coming back to. That's going to give you that stability, that foundation. That's the word I wanted. That foundation to kind of keep going after the things that you want to go after. Yeah. So I encourage all of you to check that out if you haven't. I think when I put up this recording, probably in the files section, I'll include all those same links in one. And it'll just be like vision board stuff 2018. I'll just go in the future. It's not.
Are you going to share your word with us?
In a moment.
Okay. I got excited. I want to know it.
Get excited. It was cool. I'm trying to think of what the last link from that helpful series was, and I can't remember it. But
I think it was an Amanda Francis one, wasn't it?
The audio like podcast style mindset kind of makeover stuff, which is amazing, by the way, because anything that's going to help you kind of ditch that negative thinking, if it's like any kind of personal development that's like got you on that keep your mindset positive track, it's going to benefit you, because we all know that that's really powerful stuff. So if you need a little help in that, if like creating your vision board has been stressing you out, don't be like me 2016 end of December and go, I just can't do this. I don't know. I mean, I can't. That was me. I was just like, I'll figure it out later. I'll get to it a little bit. Something will inspire me. And what I learned,
it shouldn't be difficult. It should be fun, and it should be inspiring. It shouldn't be difficult or tedious even.
Yeah, very easy to do. So yeah, that was one of the things that I realized was a big lesson I had in 2017 was like inspiration can really only take you so far. And really what it comes down to is the things that you have chosen to do, or the things that you decide are going to be a part of your life. And then just going after those things. The feeling side gets really hard for me because feelings are powerful. But I realized like that inspiration, I mean, it comes to everything when we're trying to like start a new program, like, oh, I just don't feel like it. Oh, you've got to do it. We all know like you've got to just get in there and you've just got to do it. And then once you're doing it, it's kind of hard, but you start to feel really good about it because you're doing the thing, and it's something that makes you feel really good. And it's just the same way with like your goals for anything, for your year, for your business, for how to go after the stuff that you want, how to break it down and stuff. It just all is good. It's all good feeling stuff. Eventually you feel really freaking great about it. There we go. There it is. I've been looking like almost this entire time for my picture. I'm mailing it to myself so that I can pull it up and share it with you guys. There's me. Subject. I don't want to forget what it is. I'll be like, what the hell is this? Pardon my language. I just got real loose. One of the things I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit is that backstory, a bit of like me not setting goals for 2017 and what that looked like for my year, without being like really sad. I was super.
Hey, side note, remember when I used to wear a hoodie on all the team calls? Like back in like 2015, always was wearing hoodies. That was like my thing for team calls. I thought it was like so cool. Anyways, go ahead.
You had adorable hoodies. You've got a great collection too. I say bring it back. I say
I should.
your word of the year should be hoodies all the time. Phrase.
Hoodies.
Yeah,
There we go.
so my my 2016 intentions were not met. So I came to the end of the year and I was like, crap, I'm looking over trying to do my vision board and I'm like, I've done like half this crap. Dang it. Oh man, like how do I move on into a new year having all of this stuff like undone, you know? Um, I really let that hang me up. Like just I really let that be something that was like well an excuse in some ways. Like I just can't. I just can't. And where it left me was just really in those points where I was struggling when my kids are going bananas and demanding everything from me, even though they're old enough to do stuff for themselves. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have clothes for school? Like when life gets just to that stressful point where you're like, I had nothing to really go back to except this idea I had set at the end of the year that I had failed the year before. That's really all I had. I didn't make anything positive. I didn't like try to turn anything around. I just really like, held on to what I hadn't completed. And the idea of how things were supposed to go, you know, what really got frustrated,
And
you know, when I was in those hard times, not having, you know, something to kind of like put me back on track with, was that it led to, I mean, just feeling like really isolated within myself, you know, just not having, like personal drive and that kind of, you know, that kind of energy. I was just like, oh gosh, like I really gave up on myself in a lot of ways. And I didn't think it would be too hard to turn around from. I think I'm one of those people that likes to make a really epic mess before I'm gonna like clean the house or something. Like, well, let me just take everything out of the cupboard before we make cookies. Like, it's just in my mind to like make something worse before I make it better. I didn't think it would be that bad. And I tried to kind of clean things up in the summertime, and I was so stuck in that mindset of failure that I could barely come up with anything. And I went into Summit like, Summit's gonna turn me around. And in so many ways it did. I mean, it was super inspiring and I had all these goals that I was like, God, that would be so awesome to do. And I had all these ideas. I didn't really have goals, but I had a lot of ideas and I was working out like, how am I going to create this? But I still really was like stuck in that failure space, and coming out of it, just, I wasn't like getting how to get out of it completely. And that was something when I came into this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's getting towards the end of the year. I'm in this group called Samurai where we're working on goals, and somebody brought up at the beginning of November, like, oh, hey, and you know, end of December, we're going to be talking about our like end of year goals, summing up the year and what we want to do, you know, going into our next 8-week session in January. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, sure, let's do that. Let's just go over all the stuff I didn't do this year too. Like, I was just like, wait a minute, okay, wipe the slate clean, and like what's really there for me. And I had this huge lesson in commitment versus attachment, and how you get attached to certain goals and you really only have one way it's going to work. It's like this really narrow-minded kind of vision, and not the good kind, not the like I'm honed in and I'm after something, not that kind of driven style. It's like I'm only going to figure out one way to do this. And when I get stopped, I'm just going to be busted because I have no like scope to like figure something new out to get me to this end point. So I was really fearful to do this. I was like, oh gosh. And it's like, what do you do when you're afraid? Let me just host a party. let me just make it a big deal. Make it a big deal. Yeah, and the inspiration, it was like kind of slow to start. I started several weeks ago, as you guys, I put out the invite, I like got some stuff together and I just kind of sat with it. Like, what do I need to kind of get? I was like, well, let's just start by being in the world of vision boards. Like, let me look on Pinterest. Let me look at these old videos. Let me just, immerse myself in a little bit of this to get warm, like putting your toe in the pool, Yeah, and here I am, and I am like super, super excited about the vision that I've created. I've got a little more work. I'm not totally complete yet. I really need to do kind of that finalizing journaling work where you write out, like really, really get down to the details of your vision and really like write it out in that like future sense, the present sort of
that's what
sense, the I ams.
I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. I was talking about that. I was telling myself that the other day that I got to get back to writing my intentions, my big goals, and just like the little affirmations that you tell yourself and journaling that out. It's so funny because I had that, and then Joelle just put a post in the Misfit team page about that she had gotten away from that in 2016 and 2017, and she didn't have as productive. She's still successful because she's Joelle, but she personally was less productive in those 2 years. And I commented on it, and I was like, oh man, I really needed to see this today, because I was just telling myself that yesterday, and it's so easy to tell myself something one day and not go do it. I'm like, but now you've just reaffirmed, like, the universe is telling me I need to be doing this because you just posted about this. And she goes, okay, well, like, she commented something like, well, I'm going to hit you with something else. She goes, I was legit just thinking about you today specifically, and then I posted this and you commented that, and she's like, so it's all, like, whatever. So yeah, it's very important to do those things, because it means, we all hear these universal sayings, and there's sayings like, for a reason, cliches are a cliche for a reason, stereotypes are a stereotype for a reason, because there's truth to them, so the whole, like, what you focus on grows is true. So if you are looking at something, like you said, printing out your vision board or whatever, if you're looking at that every day, you're thinking about it. So that means you also have to think about the steps that it will take to get there. And then if you are writing and journaling those deep intentions and what it's going to take to get to those goals, or just those goals in general, people use the term manifesting, or people use the, like praying or desires, or whatever your verbiage is for the universe and your personal beliefs. If you are journaling that and you're writing it down pen to paper every day, it's a conscious step from your mind to the universe that this is what you want. And it's a daily reminder of what you want. So you're more likely to show up for your personal journey. You're more likely to show up for your family. You're more likely to show up for your business, because you've already made the step of putting it out there and letting it be known. Even if it's just between you and your journal, it's out there, and yeah. It's more than just a thought. Sorry for interjecting.
No, perfect interjection. You're a great video companion. All of those things, that just kind of keep that presence in your mind. It's all really, really effective, really, really effective. Yeah, I remember the other thing too that I was looking over, because it was one of the resources that I had put in, where the 2 pages from the Misfit Planner, the like finding balance, and I don't remember what the pages are, like finding balance, and finding your why. Oh, I don't have it on this. Oh, I do have it on this phone. I'm in a phone situation that's a little awkward, guys. So, a more organized person would have a little more going on. I have like, I think 600 ocean photos right now. So that's like really what's going on for me. A lot of like, ooh, let me just wave. It's beautiful. the page is your why, design your perfect life, and then the second page is balance is beautiful. Like these are like the titles at the top, but it's really just the goal setting pages from the Misfit Planner. And I did these back when I first became a coach, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I'm gonna make this amazing life. And I hadn't done any goal setting at that point for years. I think the last time I had done goal setting was with my Girl Scouts in like 2010. So from like 2010 to 2015, just a little break, who needs goals? Yeah, it was exciting. So I didn't refill them out because in looking back at what I had written, because it's been a while since I had looked at them, because, I wasn't living the vision life of 2017. I'm going to read you here some of them, like my family goals.
Wait, what are you reading? You're reading us, these are your new goals?
No, these are my my old ones, and I was looking over this, and I'm like, I want to share an active lifestyle and have balance at home. My education goals, help my kids get through school, relationship goals, connect with friends and family in a meaningful way. And I'm going over this and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got to the second page of like, some of my health goals and my charitable goals. I want to give in meaningful ways to help others live better. I want to gain control over my weight and other illnesses and be an example in my family, and all these things that I didn't think I'd really worked on much. Like I knew like my workouts, like I lost a lot of weight. I've been setting an example in my family, and whatnot, but I didn't think that I'd like really made a lot of progress and stuff. And I was like, gosh, things have got to be so different. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are actually like really still true heart goals. Like these are like really good. So I decided not to fill out a new one and to really embrace the ones that were speaking to me now in my new vision. So I've got my photo ready, but that was kind of my last my last share from those original ones to help you like kind of design your vision board and whatnot, and how to like get started and such. Is it sharing my screen? We're going to share this, see if that works. Yeah, those, it's, here we go. Can you guys see? I don't know if Jenny's still there. Okay. I think it is showing what I have on the screen for you guys. I can't totally tell though. It's highlighted, so I'm going to say yes. So this is my screensaver for my phone. So it's pretty small, and I hope you guys can read it, but I'll read it. I'll use my arrow to kind of highlight what I'm reading. I started with my word of the year, which for this year is committed. And I had the definition pulled up earlier, and I don't think I have it anymore on my phone. But really, to me, it's just that difference between being attached to things and having like no way of solving like the hiccups in the road, and being committed, defining your life as, being flexible to work towards things. You're just committed. So, something comes in your way and it's not going to stop you because you're just committed. I had a huge distinction in that this last year, and it spoke so much to me. I have a little quote underneath that I really liked. It says her heart. I can't read it. Finally, her heart finally. Told her. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. Her heart finally told her to stop wasting time. Her heart finally told her to stop wasting time. Yeah, I really like that. And that's very much how I feel. I got like a sort of feverishness that kind of came over in working to complete some stuff that yeah, I had really just kind of like set aside. Um, this right here is part of, these are the pictures I have with, I'm traveling in Florida. So that's, I forgot to announce that I'm in Florida. If you didn't know, I tried to set the scene with the electric palm tree in the background. But I brought some of my pictures with me that are going to go on my board at home, and I snapped a quick shot to share for this. And then I thought, hey, this will work for the screen. I have just some pictures that I've taken, different sayings. One of them was from my trip to LA, and it's this really cool mural wall, all colorful, and it says, the first step is admitting you have a dream. So that's like the top super crazy color picture, and it's got this little like goofy dude with a rainbow above his head, and I just I feel like I get him. I get this little cute dude with a rainbow. I also have rainbow dreams. It just is one of those things that I that I need. And it also said, you inspire me, which is probably the number one thing people say to me. Like, I like, seriously, people are constantly just like, oh my God, I'm so inspired by you. Which feels really good, but also for me, I feel like a lot of pressure. I'm like, oh no, I hope I'm saying the right thing to them. Oh, so to step away from that sometimes is the most ridiculous challenge in my existence. Beautiful. It's beautiful to worry about great things people say. Oh my gosh. One of my quotes that I want to keep up is a line from an Outkast song, because they're brilliant. So it's just, I like talking. I don't want my conversations with people to just be surface. I got really annoyed with that this last year. I was like, nobody wants to talk about anything deep. And I think that really serves our business well. I think having that mentality of building those deeper relationships and really wanting to share yourself and get to know other people is pretty vital. My really awesome cup, get up early, stay up late, change the world, from Dutch Brothers, because coffee's amazing. Dutch Brothers just really... I feel so lucky to live near so many of them. But that kind of idea that you're, be the change you want to see in the world. If it takes like getting up early, get up early. If it takes staying up a little late, stay up late. But do what you want to do every day, to, get to that point of completion. The distance between your dreams and reality is called action. I really love that one. It's really easy to kind of get overwhelmed with stuff. And for me, especially having anxiety issues and having the extra challenge of being a person with attention issues, that space of point A to point B can be really challenging sometimes and overwhelming. And just remembering that like taking a step and just doing something is like gonna get me to where I need to go. Even if it's a failure, like it's gonna be an opportunity for me to reset and get back on track. But that one's pretty important to me. I have my what you do today matters and what you do every day matters. That one's just a given. We all know that the work that we do is really important to helping people reclaim so many different things in their lives. Like, our success stories are phenomenal. It's not just people losing 10 pounds. It's people being like, oh my gosh, I feel like a person again. I got my life back. These are like huge things. And just having that reminder to myself that like, I might be the key in somebody else finding that pathway for them is really rad, and it's worth remembering. And my last one is, the universe is totally freaking out about how awesome you are. That one is that's just like, duh.
That's one of my favorite quotes. That's from Jen Sincero, right?
Yeah, actually, yes, that is. I felt so stinking awesome sitting outside. Like, I haven't felt so much awesome, like, cosmic universe power in a while. And sitting out on eclipse day, I was like, oh gosh, do you feel it? Oh my gosh, it's like I feel hugged right now by the universe. I'm feeling hugged. I just felt so cool. And that just immediately came to mind. I was like, oh man, I'm missing it. Oh man. And I went outside and like caught everything that I wanted to catch. Like, it was just right there, right in front of me, waiting for me out the front door. And I was just like, oh gosh, here it's right happening right now. How awesome. I was very, very excited to remember that. I had a point, Jenny was actually in the elevator with me when I manifested Billy Idol into my life and cried about it. Like, I don't even care that I met him. I was just like, whatever, oh my gosh, do you know what the universe just gave me? Like, I was like, I didn't get tickets to this thing. I kept turning down opportunities. And then the universe is just like, oh, well, fine. I'll just put him in the elevator with you. Whatever, fine. If that's what it takes, you stinking, you non-believer. You non-believer. And I'm sitting there in the elevator, I'm just sobbing. And Jenny's like taking a picture of me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it just happened. I just got everything I wanted. And it freaked me out, like really hardcore freaked me out. But it made me realize, like, that's just kind of something that's there. Like, I'm not totally okay with getting what I want, which is okay because I can work on that. I can work on like accepting the things I want and kind of getting over those blockages and stuff. And, just kind of being thankful for opportunity and whatnot.
And the blockages are super important for a couple of reasons. One, it's a blessing just when you figure one out. When you know the blockage is there, you can figure out how to work on that block, Yeah. And everyone is going to have different blocks. And, I won't go into depth about things that, you and I have talked about as far as blocks and stuff, but like, one person's going to have a block that another person might not understand or vice versa. But that's where, as a team, we can come together and kind of help people through that. So when you realize the block, don't, hold it in. If you have this vision board and you have these goals, learning how to process those blocks and how to like break through them is going to be really important. So if you share those with the team or in the team pages or to your upline coach or to a lateral coach or whatever, whether they've gone through it or not, they might know somebody else who has a similar block, or a personal development that can help you through that, or a recommendation for meditation, something like that they'll have access to. Or if not, they can help you figure out a way to, work past that, because any block that you have in your personal journey or in this business, somebody else has had at some point.
Yeah, totally.
And has worked through it and been successful. All of our like top 10 coaches, all of our elite coaches, we all can look at them and think just like, oh, it's so easy for them. They don't have the same struggles as I do. But if you talk to them one-on-one, or you make it a point to listen to their story rather than a teaching or a lesson, and you hear their story, you realize that they did have struggles. They did have blocks along the way. And so don't think that if you have these certain blocks that you're like unhelpable, uncurable, or that you'll never hit these goals. So why set them? There's a little person on our team who I'm going to call out right now, Lacey, who didn't like to set goals. She just never liked to set goals. Yeah. And my former Success Club partner, Lorelai, she didn't like to set goals either, because this kind of ties back to what Jen said about at the end of the year, if you look at the goals you made and you didn't hit certain goals, it could make you feel like a failure. But you don't look at it like that. You look at it as in a sense of like, what did I do to achieve those goals? And if you didn't do everything you could, then you can learn from that. And it's a learning point, as opposed to I failed at that, everything is a lesson. And sometimes you make a goal that's this big and it's unattainable, but you're going to push yourself further to get closer to that goal. So if you have those blocks, if you have things that you feel are standing in your way mentally or, physically, like maybe like even your spouse isn't supportive or whatever, those things can be worked around. So don't be afraid to like put yourself out there with fellow coaches to help work through those, and don't let it deter you from making these vision boards and like dreaming big either.
Oh, that's good.
I just keep interjecting myself when I feel like it. So
it's what we need. It's good. You have the great points too. My my block on that, it was something that was really hard because at first I didn't really look for help with it. I just kind of sat and kind of thought, well, I'll figure this out on my own. Um, and it was being like extremely vulnerable this last year and sharing with some people about that has gotten me through some of the biggest breakthroughs, like things that like are very, very deep and profound in my life and go pretty far back for me, that I didn't think, there are things that I didn't really think were at play and things that I didn't really think were ever going to go away, sort of, too. Like things would come up and I'm just like, well, that's just me. That's how I am. And realizing like, actually, that's not really so. That's just how I'm seeing things right now. So yeah, I mean, sharing those kind of issues with people, phenomenal idea. I want to highlight the center of my little photo jumble there. That is a Tesla Model X. Everyone, I am in love with these cars in a way that is...
You want a Tesla?
So bad.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love them so much.
It's like,
I love them so much.
It's like it makes sense. It's like it makes sense and doesn't make sense for you at the same time. That's why I love it and I approve of this goal.
I was gonna make a post back in like, I got like insane about it in September, around my birthday, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do like two of my favorite cars. Like I love old trucks, like 70s era trucks, big Chevys, old, like they rumble. I feel like the ones, they look like the truck they drove around in Dazed and Confused, looking for kids to beat up. Like that's my dream. That's like one of my dream cars. I freaking love them. I don't feel mature enough to have a truck. I feel like I would use my frustration and truck to intimidate other cars with rowling engine. So, but I do love them. I like my love of cars is just, it's intense and electric.
Do you know who owns one? Do you know who has one?
I don't know. Everyone else that I see in town with one. No, I don't know.
Danielle Natoni.
Oh,
Danielle Natoni has one.
That's so rad. That's so rad.
And when we went to, because Dallas does their Super Saturdays on Sundays, so when they're having like really good people, we'll do our Austin, just same as you do with Colorado Springs, and like you'll sometimes go to both, if the timing works,
Yeah.
So I'll do my Austin one on Saturday, and then we'll go to the Dallas one on Sunday. I've only done it twice. But the first one I went to was right before Quarter Force came out, and Joel and Jericho were there, so of course I had to go. And her Tesla was parked like right where we could see it, and it was like in the like the curve when you're putting your bags into the hotel, But apparently she was allowed to just park it there, and it was just like, it was so funny because like it was like a walking advertisement for Beachbody without it actually being for Beachbody, like because people who follow her, whatever, and a lot of Dallas coaches follow her, knew that it was her car, And it's like not only the keyless entry, but it's like there's no panel, there's no key slot, there's no nothing. It's just like it just recognizes her like belly button or something and opens,
But
yeah, so it is
of these cars. It blows me away. They're super phenomenal. I'm like moderately obsessed. And we were shopping on Black Friday at the mall of all places, like, oh, let me just go to the mall. It wasn't on Black Friday. It was a couple weeks later. It was right before Christmas. And I was so excited. I was like, yes, because they have a Tesla store at the mall. And I talked my dad into going down with me while the kids were looking at the stores they wanted to, because I just wanted to like hang out inside one. I was like, let me just like go sit in one for a minute. And it turned into my parents like getting really excited about them, and they're going to do a test drive. And I'm like, if my parents get an electric car, I will lose it. I will be so freaking excited. But that's like my dream car right now. That is like, I went through a phase, I get very superstitious, and right after Summit, I had seen a whole bunch of them everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're everywhere, they're right there for me. And then I got all hung up on my crap and couldn't get over myself, and I wasn't seeing any of my dream cars, and I was like, oh no, oh, it's slipping away, my dream is slipping away, I gotta get over my crap, I can't have my dreams. It was tough. It was tough, but I have my picture there to remind me. I was like, oh wait, I could just see a Tesla whenever I want because I could just like print a picture. It was great. It was awesome. It was such a revelation, that one. But those are gonna be on my like my over my desk sort of hard copy vision board. I decided to break my life areas into 4 sectors right now, which you guys can see. Family is not complete. Family needs to be discussed. I want to actually have a sit down with my family and talk about what our group goals are, and I want my personal goals to facilitate those. Hey, speaking of family, they're just walking in the door. How was your beach walk?
Yes.
I'm gonna wave hi to Miss Jenny. She can't. I don't know if she can see because I'm on screen share. Little picture. Yeah. So nice. My me space, because I've really realized this last year that working on myself is really, really important. My goals there are to focus on meditation, my self-care routine. I didn't think that that was really important to me until I like had surgery and was laid up, and I felt miserable, and the stupidest things like were just like making me really happy. And I realized how important just taking care of myself in certain ways really was. And yeah, so building up my routine to just make it something that is just me all the time, I guess, something that I get to, do for myself. And I want to read more this year. I really struggle with that. It's one of those things, it's a me thing that I take off the plate when I'm too tired. I don't set aside time for it. But I really enjoy reading. So it's kind of one of those that I know I just need to make time and do it because I'm going to enjoy it. It's what I'm like, oh, God, I want to sit down and read. Oh, I've got so many things to do. I can't slow down. But I've realized that slowing down is part of what helps me to keep from going too fast. And this is reading outside of like my personal development and things like that for Beachbody and stuff like that. I do. Yeah, that like I'll read nonsense, I don't read a lot for enjoyment in a personal space, and that's more of what I mean there. My money bubble, I really want to be a person who is far more planned with money in terms of how it's getting spent, how it's coming in. I just want to have a preparedness for my own comfort this year. Like, it's just something that feels right. It just feels right. We're getting closer to those retirement days for my husband, and looking at kind of what's next. And it just seems like a good time to be a person who plans what they're going to do with their money. And I wrote live with intention. So sticking to that plan really is what that is. And that's where the word committed also comes in. It's just being, committed to that, because it's super easy for me. My heart and my brain don't agree on what to do. So I choose like really crazy stuff sometimes. Sometimes neither of the things that would make either happy. It's like a left field, like crazy idea that doesn't even, it's just like to like distract the two from being in conflict. It's awful. It's so unintentional. Like my whole life is like the, like impulse aisle at the checkout. It's ridiculous. And manage debts. I definitely want to take all of this and turn it into a space where our debts are just really something that aren't a mystery. Some of them are mysterious to me. I'm like, crap, I don't know what I owe on that. Like, I just pay it. I think it's going down. So just being like aware, and then making kind of those, those choices to pay off, something faster and whatnot. Just living more powerfully there. In my business, I want to set goals this year. One of my goals is to set goals.
I've been waiting for you to get to the yellow part, because I was going to be like, I see that you write business, and under your business goals section of your vision board, you wrote goals.
Yeah. So
this is the section, I'm just going to call it out for what it is. This is the section of your vision board where you are supposed to write out the goals for your business.
It's like when
your goal for your business. No, your goal for your business is goals.
Yeah, right.
That's like saying my favorite color is color.
That is also so true. I love that so much. I need that like an awkward, conflicting sort of seeming one. When I write that, it's more of like a trigger. So it's not just like setting my goals, but and not just like a big year goal, but like those quarterly goals, like those smaller goals, and like just keeping them present.
No, because yeah,
right?
Exactly. And because I know you, I understand this, but I had to call up the kind of hilarity of it, because I know you, and I know that,
I smile at it. I love it.
There is, and for some people, it is hard to make goals, because it's like I was saying earlier, some people will then look at those goals and think that they failed. Yeah. Other people will look at those goals and be like, I'm not worthy of those goals. And, then there's other people who look at those goals and be like, I'm going to make these crazy goals. And like, if I don't hit it, whatever, at least I push towards it. And knowing where you lie on that spectrum is very important when you are setting any of these goals in any of these areas. And being okay with whatever happens at the end of the day. I've said this from the first day that I started coaching, and I realized that there was a team to be had, was that if you can say that at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, and end of the year, that you did everything you could towards that goal and you didn't hit it, then it's a lesson. It's no. So anyways, go ahead.
Totally. John, is it Wooden? Has like an amazing quote about that, like working, like doing your best and knowing that you did your best is totally enough. That's not his direct quote. That is not a direct quote. They have it at the gym I work at, which I love. It's super awesome. It's like a foundation piece of their business model. And even in their coaching for the gymnastics, for the team girls and stuff, they hit the sign every practice to remember that, like, if they're doing their best, like that's it. They're doing it. So for goals, like Rachel Luna did training 2 years ago, I guess, maybe 2 years ago. Anyway, she talked about quarters, like seasons, and having, kind of like the 90-day goal to have things that, like, it's like you get a reflection time. Like, how am I getting towards my bigger goals? And some of these, like, I do have a couple of like little, like, ooh, gosh, do I want to put, I've put elite on my board twice, and it wasn't necessarily elite for myself, but just being in that frame to where it's talked about, being in that frame where it's like a possibility for myself. It's a possibility for our team. It's a possibility for Misfit Republic even. Like, it's just like having that mentality, and the pressure from that was like really, really hard for me, because I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't reverse that one down for what that meant for me. I got what it was for other people. And you and I had a little conversation yesterday when we talked about like some of my issues with doing stuff for other people and not doing things for myself. And really kind of like looking at some of those goals, realizing I just didn't have like,
I don't want to stop your thought. So remember what you were going to say. I obviously I do want to stop your thought because I'm stopping your thought. But and therein lies dichotomy. I don't know if the dichotomy is the right word, but like a yin and yang of this business is as much as we want things for ourselves, there's also this desire to do things for the good of the team or the good of everybody else. And, you know, one of the first things that I tell all my new coaches is like, when I explain active status, I'm like, your active status, I'm like, don't worry about that. That only affects me if I'm trying to hold rank. And if I'm trying to hold rank, I will let you know. But other than that, it doesn't matter. You know, if I'm holding for like a rank advancement, other than that, you don't worry. Like if you can't afford your Shakeology that month because your family needs milk and cereal, then you don't be on Shakeology that month, you know? But there's also this pressure. I can tell you that all day long, but if you internally feel that pressure to be an active, not inactive, an active coach, you feel that way. If I say my goal is for us to be an elite team and you have that internal pressure to be that thing, you know, then you are going to want to be everything for everyone, then you're going to want to make that happen. And even though one person's part of it, 3 levels, 4 levels down from me, the smallest part could help that, or for you down your downline or whatever, that could help that. We all feel the pressure to do the most and not realizing that it's okay if we have a smaller part, because it all depends on how we internalize things. And I know for you, we've talked about this too, is you are such a fixer, you know, and the glue, you're the glue in a lot of situations, you know, and so, and everybody has their where they feel they fit in. And so this business is like, we can do so much for our business. Our team can do so much for this business. And then there's just that like in between where it's like our personal, as we talked about earlier, our personal blocks, our personal goals are somewhere mixed in there. So having that is it can be a lot of unnecessary pressure, because I'll tell you this right now, anybody who's listening to the recording, Jen's already heard me say this, so I mean, she can listen again too, but whatever. No one is ever, no upline, no downline, no upline is ever going to get mad or upset with you if they don't hit their goal. 100%. I cannot reiterate that like more emphatically. Like, if we all push for a goal and it doesn't happen, that's fine. Nobody's getting mad at anybody else, because guess what? What's more important than this, and we've said this from the beginning, is it's about people. And that's it, you know, but it does, you know, there is, like Jen said, she has elite on her board. She doesn't know why it's there, but it's there, and it's just to be a part of it. Because you do want to be a part of something big. We all want to be a part of something big. It's human nature to want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves.
It was a really big deal to me. I remember when I made my board in 2015, that was just like, oh, it was just so exciting. It was exciting to think about our team growing in that kind of a way and what that meant.
Yeah.
For me, it was what it meant. Like elite meant like,
because it does mean something. Yeah.
Lives. And that transformation for me is like,
yes.
I get very excited about that. But I also was just like, I didn't know how I fit into that really. Like, it's like, how do I fit into that big picture? Because my self-worth and my, you know, my idea of self was just really busted, which is why I had so many problems with so many other things. But working on that this year, it was something that I really, really got present to in how I am a piece, like how I am a piece of that puzzle, and how simple it is and how uncomplicated it is. And it's just, you're here and you're participating and you're a piece, and that's it. And you participate at the level that you want to participate at, and it helps, and that's it. And if there's goals that
say that again,
and that's it. What was
No,
Like you're just,
you participate.
yeah,
You participate in the level that you want and can participate in, and you're still a part of it. You know, you're still a part of it.
that's
Like
your
to
part.
make or to help somebody be elite, you don't have to be a 17 star yourself to
Yeah,
help a team go elite, whether it's Rebel Republic or anybody else or Mr. Republic. You don't have to be this grandiose thing. You just have to be you and doing the
yeah.
best you, and then it all happens
So
organically and
simple.
naturally.
So
Yeah.
simple. Beautiful. And I love it. Um, but those were just kind of things that goal setting. I just want to be like committed to it. I want to be committed to setting my goals and reviewing them.
And comfortable setting goals.
Yeah. Yeah, completely. Oh my gosh, because last year I was so uncomfortable setting goals that I set like I set goals to like ungoal. Like it was really hard. Um, my second focus for my business right now is to contribute, and that's in both in our team, to contribute within our team, to contribute to the people that I already have that are already under me that I'm working with. Customers, everybody, like just contribute. Like, what can I contribute? Um, that gives me an opportunity to be creative. It gives me an opportunity to share my ideas, which is like my passion. I love to share. Like, I just love to share stuff. And that idea was just something that was like that's what you need. Even in the other job that I have, I work at a desk once a week at a gym. That's really phenomenal, but I seriously get like 4 hours a week. And I'm like, how can I contribute? And the owner is just like, oh my gosh, like however you want, contribute however you want. And I'm like, really? Oh gosh, really? Because I'm not work here very much. It just seems odd to contribute. But getting that green light from him, he's like, no, like whatever like I'm not going to say I'm going to do everything that you contribute to, not all your ideas, but he's like, I love having that input and that consideration is totally worth his time and whatnot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. So I get to be that in all these different places in my life, and that's really fulfilling for me. So I just want to be committed to my contribution. And my other business goals, I'd like to put something that's a little more focused and solid for my personal business. And that's one that I'm still mulling over. I'm really, I've been looking at what would make a difference. Like, what's the thing that's going to, really make a difference to add in there? And I've drawn like a lot of blank, and then I've drawn a lot of like everything. And I'm like, crap. Okay, I'm about to like put things in a hat. Huzzah, I've got an answer. Yeah, and so that's one of those things.
How funny that would this vision building party be if like we literally had just a bunch of things like our real goals and like not our real goals in a hat, and we were pulling them out and putting them on our vision board, and like we had to work towards those goals. Like if we just came in here, like we all like wrote goals and we all had to put them, like the ones I picked, the ones you picked, the ones so-and-so picked, in a hat, and we picked them out, and we're like, we all had to pick 5 as our goals for the year, and we had to work towards those 5 goals that we picked.
Nice. I was generating a word of the year. You know those little like sort of GIF clips that it just has like the words, and then you take the picture, like prediction kind of stuff. And me and my my tendency to enjoy those kinds of things, and that sort of superstitious side of me is like really in love with those. And I was trying to make one all day long to share on the team page, and I was like, well, if you can't just pick a word yourself, you should use this. It's got like lots of really great words, but also some confusing ones. It's like, how would I live my life by this word? So I thought it was really entertaining, but I can't get my video skills into one space. I set it aside for now. It's set aside until I can find an app to help me or get back home to my other computer and download it and work on it there. So for now, it's on pause. Yeah, so my family ones, like I said before, I want to talk with my family and really get a clear idea from them what is on their to-do list, so to speak. What do they want out of the year? And then kind of step into that to help facilitate as much of that as possible to have like real connectiveness in my family goals instead of just being like, well, this is what I want and I hope you all want it too. Because there's like general things like I had said in my when I was reading over some of my stuff from my why and whatnot, you know, like I want to help my family. I want to help my kids get through school. You know, family, I want to spend more time with them and be, you know, more connected and whatnot. But yeah, I want to have a conversation with them and really hear, so get some feedback on what they're looking for and find out ways that I can pull that in with my life and make it all like a cool connected thing. Very wonderful. So that is my, whoops, nope, I've scrolled too far. I don't know if you guys can see me scrolling and trying to get on the stop share, but I've got to move this window. There we go. So that's my rough digital phone. It's phone size, so it can fit on my phone, which now I have a plus. So it's bigger. That's it. It's bigger. Yeah, and I think I'm going to probably just set a goal for myself to post that within the next week to the team page. Have like a thread of shared, you know,
Hey, Melissa, what's up? How are you doing?
Vision board.
Was that Jared?
Yeah.
I know, can you hear him?
A little bit. Like, there's the soft man's voice.
He thinks
Hi, Jared. Can he hear me? Oh, you don't have your headphones on. He can hear me.
Hey,
Hi, Jared.
I called my sister up. I gotta talk to her.
Oh, I look nasty right now. Okay, good, because I look really nasty right now. And obviously, I care what your husband thinks about my aesthetics. And that's on the recording.
all of my family has this like wind-blown hair that's just like
It's all that sea salt.
Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of style happening.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are my vision boards and my ways to get there.
Okay, and words for the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, committed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm committed. I'm committed.
So I'm going to come back and I'm going to comment on your posts for all the vision board stuff.
Good.
With an official word, but you and I were talking yesterday and I was explaining to you some of like the struggles that I was having and stuff, and you had said like I was saying it has to be fun for me. You're like, oh, fun, you know, that could be your word. And well, I feel like that is going to be a permanent underline word, but I think I should come up with something else. But I might not. That might just be the word. You know, that might just be the word, because it has to be fun for me. It really does. For me, it has to be fun. I'm not afraid of work. I'm okay with there being work. You know, people are like, oh, well, you know, if you enjoy what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. And I do believe in that. But I'm also not afraid of hard work. And I think it can, you know, be got to get those elbows up.
You do need elbows. Everyone knows.
You have to have, and maybe some shoulders too. We're ridiculous.
I there could be a prize at this level of the recording if you've made it this far.
If you have watched our shoulders, if you've watched this far, just comment below #shoulder shrug and you will get a prize. It's
allows
happening.
6 to 12 weeks for shipping. I'm so bad at mail.
Yeah.
I've had issues.
Oh my God, I thought you were poking fun at me because I'm so bad at mail. It's been an hour, so yeah, if they get a shoulder shrug.
Yeah, I mailed a package last month that was supposed to get mailed 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and I finally mailed it, and I was just like, I wrote a Post-it note. I didn't even write like a letter to my friend. I just wrote, "Sorry, hope you like it." Just put it in, shipped it. I was like, oh my God.
I have a present for Sarah Price that's going on 2 years. So I'm right there with you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the worst.
Together. Let nothing be.
Yeah. Maybe that should be on our vision boards.
I'm committed to
and to fulfill that goal, we will write each other weekly letters. We can fulfill our goal by writing each other weekly letters.
Oh my gosh. No weekly call. It's a weekly letter. Take it back.
It's a weekly letter.
1818. Keep thinking it's going to be 2017 again. Just like.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, once you get a reader. I told my kids playing solitaire that they could reshuffle their cards once. By the way, that's not my rule. I apparently have issue with it. It's a rule that my cousin
Do you play just the once?
Oh no, sometimes
You play just the once?
But most of the time you go through, the multiple times. But yeah, I've played just once. But I have a cousin who would just shuffle the deck when it got hard, like when she couldn't play anything. She's like, "Oh, well, you get a shuffle."
Oh no, you can't shuffle.
I was like,
I play that you can. No, I play that you can go through it as many times as possible, but you can't shuffle it.
Shuffle, right? No shuffle,
because then if you're gonna get stuck, you're gonna get stuck, and that's it. But you can't shuffle. Game over. Exactly. Game over.
It's hurting their feelings. They're like, "This game is dumb. It's over already." And I'm like, "I know. Yeah. Sometimes."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told my son, Ellington, about my cousin's shuffle. Classic cheaters, known cheaters.
Yeah. No, you can't.
I love them, but like there was like a lot of days where there was like to promote winning. I don't want to. When
any of your cousins join our team, I am tagging them in this video, and I'm gonna say start at the hour mark, so they'll get the hashtag prize, and they'll know that you were talking shit on their solitaire.
Oh my gosh.
But
I'm such a stickler.
It's true though, with solitaire, you never know. It's part chance and part skill. A little bit of chance, or a lot of chance and a little skill.
Strategy. I found that out. I was like, oh man, I forgot like the wisdom of my grandfather. I forgot it. There's some strategy in solitaire. It's good.
There is a little bit. Just a little.
We need a more word for you.
I know. And so I'm gonna work on it the next couple of days. I have a long drive ahead of me on Saturday. And so I think fun and or joy has to be my underlying word. But I'd like to maybe come up with something a little more, I don't know, we'll see.
I like it.
Because I also know there's a lot of places I can grow within my leadership. And so maybe it'll be something focused on that, or maybe it'll be something focused more on like bringing it back to the basics. So I have like a lot of balls in the air there's a lot of directions I could go, but I want it to be intentional, and I want it to be purposeful, and I want it to be all encompassing. I want to come up with a word that fits all of those, leadership, starting over or starting fresh, and then also fun and all that stuff. So we'll see. But you can go ahead and stop the recording because no one's going to watch this long. And if they do watch this,
I'm going to tell them thank you. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Good luck with your vision boards. Don't forget you know, dreams.
We'd love to see them.
I
Did
feel
you
like
say dreams do come true?
I know I said dreams 2018, but it's like dreams come true.
Like, dreams do come true. And I have this stupid hoodie on and these crazy ass pigtails. I don't even know what I'm doing with my life right now. Look at this. I'm just a hot mess.
We're good. That's
Nope.